This is CBC News. At 12 o'clock, it is sunny and 22 degrees in both Saskatoon and Regina. Good afternoon from the broadcast centre of CBC Saskatchewan. I'm Carol Morin. Autopsies are being conducted today on 3 bodies found in a Regina townhouse over the weekend. Police say they are treating the deaths of a man, a woman and a child as homicides. They have not formally identified the 3 people, but police say the family that lived at the townhouse is missing. That family was part of a community of refugees from the country formerly known as Burma. CBC's Danny Mario has been speaking with friends of the family and just got back from an interview with police. She joins us now in studio. Danny, how is the community reacting?
Well, Carol, that's been the focus all morning. What we have found out is one of the people that is missing, the gentleman, the adult male, is Gray Ne Hutu. And now you'll have to forgive me on the pronunciation of it. He's from this ethnic group called the Karen people from Myanmar, which was formerly known as Burma, and was working at Crown Shred and Recycle, where they employ about 25% of their workforce is Karen and from that region. And so when he went missing, I spoke to the boss there, and he had told me that on Tuesday he hadn't showed up to work after holidays, and then they weren't too worried just because of the cultural differences there. But then on Wednesday they started to worry he was still missing then, and then police informed him about these bodies being found on Friday. Now again, these people have not yet been formally identified, but from what we're hearing from the community, people that did know them and is very close with the Korean community and the church that they did attend, which is the First Baptist Church, that they did keep to themselves and were quite timid people, and that they are currently missing. So they're working from that they know. And then we had also just heard from 2 separate sources that there's a chance that the woman was pregnant. Now, as we did further explored today, we heard that there's no dental records because, of course, these are people that came about 2 years ago, and that they had pursued fingerprints. Police had pursued fingerprints from the boss at this man's work in an attempt to identify them because the bodies were very decomposed. Now, there was a church service yesterday in where they did talk a little bit about what had happened, and now the Korean community is just trying to pull themselves together.
Okay, and is there anything new from police at all? Well,
no, not really. They have, as we've said earlier, they have said that there's reason to believe these were homicides. They have not ruled out murder-suicide. They haven't identified a murder weapon. So there's a lot of questions yet to be answered. And the autopsy began this morning, and they're expecting it to take the better part of today and possibly lead into tomorrow to deal with that.
Okay, Danny Mario, thank you for your time.
Regina police have not confirmed the identities of 3 bodies found in a North End Regina home on Friday. As you heard on the news just moments ago, those bodies are those of a man, woman and child, but the remains are so badly decomposed, police are having difficulty identifying them. The man, woman and child who lived in the home, however, are missing. They're Karen refugees. Wayne Wyatt is a member of the Baptist congregation where the family attended church, and he's on the line now. Thank you so much for this, Mr. Wyatt.
Hello, Garth.
When did you hear the news?
Well, I first read the Leader Post on Friday, Saturday morning, and I noticed 3 people had been discovered dead in a townhouse in Uplands. And interesting enough, one of my first thoughts was, I know there's a Karen family that lives there. Oh, could that be? And I thought, oh, no, 1 chance out of 100, I suppose. But all of a sudden, then I got a call from the man who was the father of the family that was killed. Got a call from his employer, informing me that it was the man worked for him. He was Karen, and the family that was killed was a Karen family.
Mr. White, what's your relationship to the Karen community in Regina, and how did that develop?
Well, most of the Karen people that have come to Regina are Baptist, about 85% of them. And Open Door knew that and knew they were back in October, November 2006, about 100 Karen people coming to the city. So they asked First Baptist to be hosts to the families that were coming from Thailand, to show them the ropes of living in a city, because all these people were from the jungle, from a very rural life. And so when they arrived in Regina, it was their first experience at living in a city. And it, initially it was very overwhelming. So we became hosts to actually 2 families, and that's how our, through Open Door, that's how our connection started with the Karen people.
What are you hearing from other members of the community you know?
Well, right now, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of sadness and upset people. Right now, there are so many questions that are unanswered as yet, because the police investigation is currently ongoing. Why did this happen? Who did it? How did it happen? And there's so many unanswered questions, and people do not know what to think as yet. They're confused and in shock and unhappy, and many adjectives could describe their situation.
What was the feeling at services on Sunday?
Well, actually, I was unable to attend because I'm just getting over recovering from open heart surgery. But my wife was there, and it was the largest attendance of Karen people at any church service yet. There was well over 200 there. And so I think they feel they must come together, to support one another and to find out if they can discover any answers to their questions.
Was the congregation planning anything to help in that process, help that support?
Yeah. There have already been collections made to help with some of the expenses that are going to occur. There's going to be a meeting tonight at the church. The city police, I understand, will be there, and the Karen leaders will be there, and I hope to be there. And they were going to discuss things like funeral arrangements, and the nitty-gritty of a funeral, but it will certainly be a very sad event when this does occur. We don't know as yet when the funeral will be. We don't know when the bodies will be released. So a lot of things are up in the air.
Mr. Wyatt, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Wayne Wyatt joined us on the line from Regina. Now, police in Regina still have not formally confirmed that the bodies of the 3 people found in a North End home in Regina were those of the man, woman, and child who lived there. And stay tuned to CBC Radio throughout the day. We'll be bringing you updates on our newscasts.